On a nice sunny day, a girl named Susan is shopping for ingredients for her smoothie. She walks over to the refrigerated section and searches for the orange juice first. She notices something different between the two labels on them. One advertising about all non-GMO and all organic products, and the other, no sort of advertising like this. Susan had vaguely remembered seeing this labeling on other foods. She started wondering what all the fuss was about and started being confused on how to make an accurate decision on it. Susan is not the only person that has experienced this. GMOs have been showing up on labels and no one really understands them completely. This topic is one that we need to stay informed about and consider all of the facts. We need to learn about what GMOs exactly are and narrow down the definition, what the misconceptions are, and why we have GMOs in the first place. GMOs are a technological advancement in the agricultural world and provide many pros for the agriculture or the production of crops. The term GMO, genetically modified organisms, are organisms whose genetic material has been altered by the means of genetic engineering. This process is made up of four basic steps: identifying the trait of interest, isolating that genetic trait, inserting the trait into the genome of a desired organism, and then growing engineered organisms. To be more accurate and specific on the GMO process, the term GE, genetically engineered, needs to be considered. This is the specific name of the method that scientists use to introduce new traits and characteristics to an organism to get a specific response out of the plant. Some examples of the traits that scientists want to encourage to plants like corn and soybeans include resistance to herbicides and resistance to bad weather conditions. Before the use of GMOs, farmers would have to spray their fields for weeds 4 to 5 times before the crops even arose. They would have to stop after the crops emerged so there was no harm to the crop itself. Nowadays, with GMOs, the crops have become resistant to the pesticides and herbicides. We are able to spray before and after the crop has reached the surface with no harm done. Many regions where crops are grown tend to experience extreme weather conditions. That would often be harmful to the crops. GMOs have allowed crops to become more resistant to these conditions by altering their physical traits. Stems have become sturdier to be able to stand up during windstorms. Roots now grow deeper into the ground so they are able to receive the nutrition they need to survive the drought-like conditions. People like Susan are still skeptical about the use of harmful chemicals on those GMO crops that you and me eat. Chemicals. Yes, they are bad, but people tend to freak out and jump to conclusions when thinking about the use of them on GMOs, which leads to misconceptions about the use of GMO methods involving chemicals, environmental risks, and health risks. When discussing harmful insects and having to treat them, the European corn borer is the most damaging insect to corn in the United States and Canada. European corn borer damage costs exceed $1 billion each year. No need to worry about that anymore with the GE methods in BT corn production. Through biotechnology, science can use these naturally occurring BT proteins to develop insect-protected crops that help farmers protect against insect damage and destruction. When the targeted insect, corn borer, eats the plant containing the protein, they ultimately die. But BT is not harmful to humans, other mammals, birds, insects, or desired insects, says Monsanto.com. This advancement on pest control leads to no need for chemicals to be sprayed at all for that certain type of pest. Lower chemicals, less environmental risks. But also, surrounding the ditches and other waterways by the fields, there's a certain type of grass that soaks up excess chemicals running off of them called crepgrass. This stands for Conservation Reserve Environmental Program. It allows us to keep moving forward with these advancements, yet keep the environment safe. Health risk rises have been the thought of the work of GMOs. They believe that genetic engineering may cause hazardous proteins. According to PopPsych.com, more recently researchers from the University of Italy published a review of 1,783 GMO safety tests. 770 examined the health impact on humans and animals. They found no evidence that the foods are dangerous. www.ustoday.com explains a different study done by university professors and agricultural experts, explaining that there is no recorded difference between the US and the UK, who has banned GMOs, in health risks such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, autism, internal diseases, and kidney diseases. The people of the world can all benefit from the GMO foods. With the increase in population, we are losing good farmland. There are homes being built and towns turning into cities. Crop yield can be the thought to help produce more food. Our world is always changing, whether it be our climate, the stock markets, or our population. When things go wrong or get overwhelming with these topics, there's little that we can do. We try our best to figure out the best solution, though. GMOs were invented to maximize the production of foods for our ever-growing nation. www.un.org explains, the current world population of 7.3 billion is expected to reach 11.2 billion by 2100. This statistic expresses our ever-growing need to feed the people. With the increase in population, we are losing good farmland. There are homes being built and towns turning into cities. Crop yield can be the thought to help produce more food within a single field to use less farmland, but keep production up to par with the growing nation. If everyone in the world uses as much farmland per person as the average US citizen does, we would need 4 Earths to sustain us. Crop yield is the measurement of grains and seeds generated from a unit of land. How much good crop can you produce within your field? Now, there is no magic way yet to increase crop yield. We can't just go and say, hey, produce more buds to make more crops per field. We can, though, promote a healthier crop through the use of GMOs. GMOs help promote more efficient nutritional intake by the plant. Healthy plants lead to the production of higher amounts of good crops per field, which can and has led to higher crop yield. The higher yield within the fields is compensating for our land shortage. GMOs are a technological advancement in the agricultural world and provide many pros for crop production. They have been made to resist certain types of chemicals and extreme weather conditions, all made possible by genetic engineering methods. People have misconceptions when they think of using or eating GMO foods, such as health and environmental risks. GMOs can increase a healthier crop to promote higher crop yield, which compensates for the loss of the land, and help to feed the growing nation. By being informed about GMOs, Susan is now able to shop with ease and make a more informed decision on what to put in her smoothie confidently.